Yo, what is up, everybody? This is David Tress from theloveofplay.com, and I'm just here, on a kind of chilly morning. I'm just here working on some emails and doing, just work stuff. Oh, look at that. I think, yep, that's the one. And yeah, okay, I think that's enough email for today. But yeah, it's chilly in my apartment, and I think the thermostat or something's broken. So I heard about this website, and I guess it might heat up your apartment a little bit. So I'm gonna check it out. Oh, oh my god! You know what, guys? It just got super hot in here. Um, okay, so this is a game called Super Hot, and what Super Hot is it's a first-person shooter, and the core concept of the game and the thing that makes it interesting is that time only moves when you move. Here's a little example of that. I'm walking around, and that causes the ceiling fan to rotate at a normal pace. And basically what that single mechanic does is it turns the first-person shooting genre entirely on its head and turns it into what is a really slow-paced, sort of strategic puzzle game. And I will show you a little bit about that right now. And basically, the advantage that it gives you is that you are able to sort of look around in a room, assess what's going on, avoid any danger, incoming danger that you see, and really sort of decisively, place your shots and take care of enemies in that way. I think it's a pretty fascinating game. I think, as I understand it, this was originally born out of a game jam, which is, if you're unfamiliar with that term, it is basically when a bunch of developers, or I guess you can just have a single team game jam. Just got clipped there. But basically, what a game jam is it's when you have like a team of people, and they are attempting to make a game in a very short amount of time. And so I think their time for this, the developers' time for this game, was like a span of 7 days, and then they had a positive response to it and either remade it or polished up the original version. I gotta concentrate here. So yeah, one of the fascinating things is you sort of just get to watch the bullets hang in the air, and so time isn't at a dead stop when you're not moving. You can see the bullets sort of looking around, and then looking actually counts as movement. So you see that, and the bullet's definitely moving at a quicker pace. But yeah, so the goal of this level is just sort of, weave through any openings that you see and navigate around the suspended bullets. Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to take a little more cautious route this time. Oh, jeez, man. I just keep getting nailed. Yeah, sorry, I'm not talking right now, but this is tough. It's stressful, and you can see I'm moving at a quicker pace right now, and you can see how you really can't play this game in that way. You can't just move at a typical speed and sort of rely on your twitch skills to get you through this game, because you'll die straight away. You really have to. It forces you into playing it as this. Oh boy, that stinks. Okay. It really forces you to play it as what I see it as a puzzle game, or I actually sort of thought that it mechanically it felt like you had a superpower, whereas in the majority of like superhero games or games where you have a superhuman ability, I feel like you're not doing things that are actually like mechanically you're not doing things in the game that are all that different than your average game. You might have shooting mechanics or something, but it would feel just like a gun, even though you're shooting lightning or something like that. But this is like a mechanical difference. You feel like you have access to this layer of the combat that your enemies just are missing out on, and it's actually feels empowering in a really interesting way. And I've really been it's a short so basically this isn't a full game, it's just a demo, but I've really been enjoying playing it through a couple times, because there definitely is a fair amount of freedom in the ways you can tackle these issues, or the puzzles. And yeah, so it got born out of a game jam, and then the developers, I think they're either just really liked the idea, so they polished it up and put it online for free. As you saw when I started this video, I'm playing in a browser right now. You just have to download the Unity plugin, and then you can play. But yeah, so that they made the decision after hearing the positive response, or just really being fond of how the game played, that they wanted to sort of polish it up and put it out. As far as like any developments beyond that, because I think there's only like 4 or 5 levels right now, which is pretty unfortunate. There's not a ton that you can. There's just not a ton here, but what is here is really great, and I feel like there's a lot that can be mined from this specific mechanic of, having, the ability and mechanic to start and stop time in games has always sort of been there, but it's really, your character's always been moving at a slow pace, and this is sort of, it's a pretty different thing than like what you would find in a Max Payne, which is commonly called bullet time, because it's something that affects you exclusively, whereas in Max Payne, if you're freezing time, you're moving at a slower pace. Oh jeez, I'm not doing good in this level. You, along with all of your enemies, are moving at a slower pace. And I guess that is true here, but you have this amount of time to consider and make very deliberate moves, which just feels really good. And it's super interesting. And then getting back to the superhero thing, I actually wrote a little bit about this. This game sort of inspired me to write a little bit about how mechanically stale and sort of average superhero games are, because in a medium where you're already just often so empowered, it's this weird thing that like it doesn't matter if you're playing a soldier in the modern military, or like Superman. Like the level of empowerment that you feel isn't tremendously different. Like you're still comparatively to your enemies, who also have like, at least in like a modern military shooter, they have like the same skill set, and they have the same range of options as far as disposing of enemies. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. I'm taking this seriously for a second. But anyway, yeah, I basically, I don't want to go into stuff that I already covered in this piece of writing, but you can read that, and I talk a little bit more about just what I think this game does right. Oh, man. I've never had this hard of a time with this level before. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Okay, 1 down. I think there's a total of 10 in this level. Okay, there we go. That only took 10 more minutes than I thought it would. Jeez Louise. But yeah, I guess it sort of shows that you really have to keep your head when going about this game, because it just can't be played as a traditional FPS. It's not set up that way. You're outnumbered. The enemies are highly accurate. But yeah, it really makes it feel good when you can sort of maneuver your way through a level, because it's pretty tough. Now here, this is the final stage, and there's actually no challenge to this. It's basically, if this demo is sort of to be taken as what this developer would like to do with Superhot, if they were ever to revisit it and sort of make it a more fuller, robust game, I think that they would probably want to add some narrative element to it. They have that sort of interesting flavor text, and it's got a sort of a strange feel, based on its sort of sterile, minimalist graphics, and just the language and the voice that you hear coming in saying Superhot. There's definitely some flavor and some interesting things going on here. But this is, I'm going to kill this guy, and then some narrative stuff's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have served me well.
So this guy shows up with his accent and
Now, dispose of yourself.
his lovely voice and his suit. Just looking like an all-around stud. And he wants me to kill myself.
Just walk
I know, Portal has taught us that in situations like this, you're supposed to question, do I actually need to do what this voice is telling me to do? But yeah, I already explored it, and there's no other option. You basically just have to jump out of this window, and then this happens.
Stop. You've been a good boy.
Oh, thank you.
Super hot. Super hot.
And there we go. So that's Superhot. Yeah, so I will put a link to this game. As I said, it's a browser game in the description of this post. And I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's really pretty unique and kind of, I don't know, I feel like the mechanic is interesting enough that I feel like we'll see it implemented into a few other games in the not too distant future. Just because I think it plays really, really well, and it's an interesting take on this, pretty stale genre. So yeah, check that out, and then check out the piece of writing that I'm releasing in tandem with this, which is just called Superhot and What is Wrong with Superhero Video Games. Okay, alright, take care, bye.